hate using the light. This is plugged in. Everything's ready to go. Yeah. Still haven't come up with a better system than this. But it's okay. It's for the background. Tower of power. The freedom to do art. So look, I think this is just for me because I just need to get some things off my chest. And well, what else do I do? I'm not here for your chest. Community chest. I never understood that stupid Monopoly card. No, I'm pausing because I was in the hospital over the weekend, and it was awful. It was an awful experience. And what made it awful is the fact that I didn't have an emergency contact, and there were people there covered in blood, attached to gurneys by handcuffs. People that they just found on the street, drunks with their faces smashed in. That sort of thing. Old people, people not so old, people screaming. But they all seemed to have someone to call, or they had some worried person there to, like, just help them go through this thing. And I was there shivering, couldn't move. I had a seizure, shock, with no one to call. And I have all this family here on the East Coast. I have all these people I know, relatives, blood relatives, close relatives, relatives with the same last name, relatives with the same mother. And they didn't know I was there, and I couldn't call them because I know they wouldn't come, and I know that they wouldn't care. And it was such a gut-wrenching, sorrowful experience. And I'm planning on having it out with them. I'm not trying to do anything, violent or something. I'm not trying to be crazy. But they deserve to know. I've been excluded from birthday parties, Thanksgivings, Christmases for decades now. When my parents died, no one checked in on me. No one's ever made sure that I was okay, except for one relative. But it's not his responsibility because he's much younger. I'm talking about cousins and siblings that are older than me. I was kind of like the baby in the family for many, many years before like a new generation was born. And they live in the East Coast. They live in New York. They're here, and I couldn't call them. There was no one would have known anything, ever. Except who knows, like, until much, much later. And all these people would do after something really went wrong, they would just cannibalize all my property, take away my home, take away my stuff, throw it in the trash, sell what they could on eBay, and call it a life. And it's like now I feel like it's my time I'm going to tell them that either you welcome me through the front door or I'm going to break down the back door. And that's all. That's it. That's the ultimatum. I'm going to go through the list of what did Frank Constanza say? The airing of the grievances. I'm going to go through a thorough airing of the grievances, I guess via email or however, and just kind of like give it. Christmas came early this year. Is it Christmas? No, it's damn. What was the thing on Seinfeld? Festivus. Festivus is going to come early this year because it wasn't right. I have an armband on me. I have, I'm attached to an EKG. I'm lying in a fucking gurney with my with no one to take me home even. Like I had to leave on my own accord. Stumble out of there like some like lunatic. Sign myself out. No one to give any information about me. They're asking me my mother's maiden name. I'm like, I'm shaking like a leaf. I can't spell my mother's crazy maiden last name at that moment because I need someone there to tell them, hey, this is the crazy last name. But how I've been treated over the past lifetime by them for no reason at all. This is the thing. It's just like it's for no. There is no reason. First of all, I never got a reason from any of these family members. Secondly, even if they did, nothing would even be a good enough reason at that moment. And I didn't take I never took a dime from anyone. I never molested the kids or something. You know what I mean? It's like there was not even really much of a fallout of any kind, just this intentional ostracization to make sure that I am not part of this family in any way, shape, or form. There are kids being born right now that I am related to, that I'm like an elder now to them, and they don't even know I exist. Well, maybe not the ones being born today, but just in general, that being born or sorry, alive right now, in school, having no clue that I even exist. Whether it's in a photo, whether it's like no Christmas cards, no nothing. And it has to stop. And I have to put an end to it. And the only way to put an end to it is to force my way in, forced entry. It's like people say, oh, why are you wasting your time? Forget them. I did forget them. And I've done my best to forget about them if they're going to treat me this way. But when I'm in that situation, when I'm on a gurney with the bright lights and the beeping noises, sorry, there has to be somebody there besides me, because I can't answer these questions. I'm out of my mind at that point. And those are what my mother used to call the rules of war. I think I mentioned this before on one of these vlogs, that there are rules of war, that there are times when it's just like, well, I might not like you, I don't like what you said, I don't like what you did, but here's a crisis, and we got to kind of just put those stupid things aside. We'll settle those things on Christmas. We'll settle those things, over Easter, but not when it's like an emergency situation. And I had no one to call in an emergency. And it's like, well, I could have called a friend and stuff like that. That's not the same thing. My friends don't know my mother's maiden name. They don't know, they don't know a lot of things about me. And they're not going to remember that anyway. Why are they going to bother? So that's what I mean. And it's not like these people are living, 1,000 miles away, where it's like, well, if I could be there, I would. No. 45-minute drive to just check in on on one of your relatives. One of your relatives that make art, that's here. That's at the tower, that is busy as often as he can be to make art and to be his own person. And really, that's the only crime I could possibly imagine, is that I went my own way. And my own way impeded no one else's way. I didn't get in anyone else's way by going my way. So yeah, I'm extremely hurt. I'm extremely hurt, and it taught me a big lesson on it's, this thing, can't continue. And you have to make your presence known, because something like that can happen, and then what? This is not ignoring them because, success is the best revenge and all this stuff. No. I'm in a gown. I have my pants off. I'm wearing slippers that have the name of the facility. Walking around like a chooch. So, yeah, I got to do something about all this. Anyway, I don't know if it's for you or for me. I just needed to say something.